Hello everyone. I hope all of us here are okay and in the best of health. Nevertheless, let me introduce myself. I am Lorena Liberio, a faculty, an assistant professor 1 at the Marinduque State College, main campus, soon to be university, located at Barangay Tansa, town of Buwak, and province where the heart of the Philippines is located, Marinduque. And I am here to present my research work in this 18th International Conference on Technology, Knowledge and Society with the theme Trust, Surveillance, and Democracy. So the title of my research work that I will present is Utilizing Surveillance, Trust, and Democracy as an Online Pedagogy Amidst Pandemic 2021. And before I start with my presentation, let me leave you with the following phrases. In a situation where people need to survive, overthinking about the security of data should not be the priority. Instead, thinking of positive ways on how we can survive with the help of the existing technology, which might be paid or free, should be our focus in the new normal. In today's scenario, where the whole world suffers and still suffering from the impact brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, we have realized that it's not the end of the world, and what we have experienced and maybe still experiencing is just a challenge. And all of us here are very lucky, very healthy, very strong that we have surpassed that COVID-19 pandemic. But we should be thankful that there are medical experts who dedicate their knowledge, life, skills, and expertise in the discovery of the vaccines that can minimize the effect of serious COVID-19 disease in our body around the world. But the effect of this pandemic on the human life, economy, education, food, public and private entities, and even businesses is truly very stern and devastating. Well, according to the report of the World Health Organization last 2020 about the impact of COVID-19 on people's livelihood, their health and food systems, that there are about tens of millions of people that are at risk of falling into extreme poverty. And while there are a number of estimated 690 million undernourished people, it is possible that it could be increased by 120 million at the end of the year. So, as you can see, in the different pictures that I have provided, those were the effects of pandemic: poverty, undernourished, unemployment, food shortages, and others. Another effect of COVID-19 when it comes to work, education, industry, and even in government is the implementation of an alternative work arrangement, such as work from home, to limit the exposure of people to one another, which causes almost everyone to depend on the power and advantage of technology in order to continue and bring new life and survive in the new normal. The pandemic has imparted people in the industry, government, education, private sector, business, and even the religious sector to utilize whatever technology is available, and because of low budget, mainly depends on the free technology. So thanks to the free technology, thanks to the Google Classroom, thanks to the Google Meet, YouTube, and other websites that offers free services, because of those free services, the education sector has survived. Not only the education sector, but also the other sectors, and of course especially those who don't have budget for the subscription of premium accounts. So the boom of the online world has begun and will continue to escalate in the new normal. People do actually have choice, which is either to embrace the existing technology with or without knowledge about the security of data. The data privacy, the algorithms being utilized by every technology, or they may try to purchase licensed software believing that data will be totally secured, but in reality, still, security might be compromise because that is stored in the cloud. So, in a situation where people need to survive, overthinking about the security of data should not be the priority. I have mentioned this earlier. So instead of thinking positive ways on how we can survive with the help of the existing technology, which might be paid or free, should be our focus in the new normal. So let's not overthink about the security of data. So this paper is about the utilization of surveillance, trust, and democracy as an online pedagogy amidst pandemic. This is a positive step that would be able to help struggling students in an online class, and it was conceptualized by the challenges faced during the implementation of online class in the time of pandemic 2021. And because we're trying to look for the root of the problems encountered by the students, survey question was created and distributed to the 310 students via Google Form and Google Classroom, where in return, yours truly have collected 216 total respondents, and that is equivalent to 69.67%. So, after eliciting the data, the following methodology were used as tools for analysis: the gap analysis, the satisfaction survey for the implemented pedagogy, and the quasi-experimental design. So let's discuss the gap analysis. So in the result of the gap analysis, it was found out clear that there is a gap between the technology being used or subscribed and the available technology. The subscribers of the technology might not be aware, or maybe they are just using their existing technology and don't want to invest or change their subscription. So it only shows that this is not a problem with technology, but with the subscribers. And the solution for this type of problem is to orient them to test other available technology that might be better from the technology that they are using when it comes to this internet. Next is the satisfaction survey through rating, which was used in the pedagogy that was implemented, which are the following. So we have here the open forum, which is the trust, the brainstorming, that is the online democracy, what else? The recording and uploading of video conversation, which is the surveillance. So difficult times experienced by the learners in the implementation of online class has challenged educators to experiment different pedagogies. Trust in the free technology and the students in conducting lectures, providing quizzes, assignments, and examinations, allowing the students to have an open forum online. All these things have been embraced. So learners have been given democracy to choose compilers that will fit their gadgets. Let them have an open online brainstorming or exchange of ideas via Google Meet, and make themselves feel like they're inside the physical classroom. So a kind of surveillance by recording the online conversation was implemented with different purposes. First is to use as evidence of conducting classes online, such as attendance, and second is to use as reference of learners which were uploaded in the Google Classroom, and of course to test this as pedagogy or strategy that can be considered as tool in learning. So in the end, the results are as follows. We have 50% for the trust, represented by an open forum, 42.6% for the democracy through brainstorming, and 74.1% respondents for the surveillance through a recorded online conversation. So this research put emphasis on the surveillance as pedagogy. That's why this pedagogy underwent another rating. And that is from 5 up to 1, where 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. And this is done to know whether this strategy of recording and uploading video conversation help the student to learn the topic discussed. So the result is as follows. 1 out of 216 students don't like the pedagogy and thus provided a rating of 1 out of 5, which means not at all satisfied. That is 0.463% of 216 because that is only one student. Next is 6 out of 216, which has provided a rating of 2 out of 5, which means partly satisfied, and that is equivalent to 2.78% of the 216. Another is 46 out of 216, who has provided a rating of 3 out of 5, which means they are satisfied, which is equivalent to 21.30%. And 78 out of 216 has provided a rating of 4 out of 5, which means they are more than satisfied, and that is equivalent to 36.11%. And lastly, 85 out of 216 has provided a rating of 5 over 5. Wow, that's perfect, which means that they are very satisfied, which is equivalent to 39.35%. And to sum up, only 0.463% is not satisfied. So, a very little because that is only one. So, the rest, which has a total of 99.537%, is from partly satisfied to very satisfied, which shows that most of the students like this pedagogy and has helped them in their studying and learning using the online or offline mode of class. So to know whether this pedagogy has impact to these students, you truly ask the 216 students if the recorded video conversation helped them understand and learn the topics discussed. And the result are as follows. So, as you can see in the graph, 96.3% positively responded. They said yes, it helped them understand and learn the topics discussed through the pedagogy. And the rest, which is equivalent to 6.4%, responded that they are not sure. Sometimes it helps them, sometimes it doesn't, neutral, slight, and they don't understand. So it just shows that it has a positive impact on the majority of the respondents. But to further convince myself about the result, yours truly asked the students if this pedagogy will be recommended by them continuously, and the result is as follows. 98.1% positively said yes, they are recommending this pedagogy, and the rest, which is equivalent to 1.9%, don't recommend this strategy or pedagogy. But it shows that majority of the respondents recommends the implementation of this pedagogy. So, aside from the result of the ratings, the pedagogy have undergone experimentation that utilizes the one group pre-test, post-test design. In the selected section consists of 28 students that both undergone conventional and strategic or experimental way to find out if the pedagogy helps the student learn the subject or topic by observing the percentage of students who get a failing grade or a score, both in conventional and experimental way, and if the result is either increasing or decreasing. So, in the implementation of this experimental research methodology, the same group of students undergone observation through different ways, the traditional, or what we call conventional, and through the implemented pedagogy or the experimental. So the result of analysis of the evaluation was alarming in the beginning of the class, where the basic and introductory topics represented by topic 1 to 3, which happened to be the topic about variable declaration, input and output, and some if construct in computer programming, where it was found out that 28.57% or 8 out of 28, another is 50% or 14 out of 28, and 14.29%
or 4 out of 28 students got a failing score in the evaluation of the 3 topics consecutively. That is in a situation where teaching strategy applied is the conventional way but done online through Google Meet. So, the students find it difficult to understand the topic. But in the result on the remaining 4 out of 7 topics where the strategy applied is with the use of the recording conversation, it shows that failing grade or score was reduced to 3.57%, which is equivalent to 1 out of 28 on the 4th topic. And in the 5th topic, that is only 2 out of 28, which is 7.14%. In the 6th topic, that is only 4 out of 28, which is 14.29%, which is the same with the 7th topic. So, it only shows that by means of implementing this pedagogy, there's a decrease in the failing score of students, which means that it really helps the students. So, recorded video is different from a recorded conversation in such a way that a recorded video is only one way, but recorded online conversation is a two-way conversation with interaction of students. That the result shows that there is a decrease in the number of failing students, and therefore can be concluded that the pedagogy implemented has a positive result. But going back to the question asked by this conference about who do we trust to collect, manage, and apply algorithms to apply this social data, so my answer is this: we need to trust both the paid and the free technology. We need to trust our providers and our clients. Why? We don't have choice. We need to survive. We don't have choice but to embrace and trust the existing technology and algorithms. Otherwise, we need to develop our own technology. But with our situation, where nobody is prepared when this pandemic comes, so we need to embrace the available technology. So about the second question, is all data collection good collection? Is all engagement good engagement? So we all know that there are good data and there are also data that are not so good. Same with the engagement. There are good engagement and there are some engagement that are not so good. But we need to trust and try to experience and discover all the types of engagement that might be what? That might be but for good. And then later on, apply filtering. So we need to try and experience and discover the types of good and bad engagement. And then filter it out. So learn from experience. Okay? So, next is what to make of data collection as modes of surveillance. Nobody will collect data without purpose or intention. So, for me, all modes of data collection is done manually, electronically, through interview, through observation. All those things are surveillance. So, the moment we process data that we collected from anywhere to any modes and we share it, we use it, we process it, and transform it into a useful thing or information, then we can consider that as a mode of surveillance. But what is important and need our attention is the intention of the surveillance. What is the intention? Is the intention good? Is the intention bad? Is the intention for the improvement? Is the intention for the destruction? So, we need to answer those questions. Next is, what are the institutions that come to protect our data and what might be the unintended consequences for the push to more data privacy, for the free flow of human interaction. So I believe that every country has its department which is involved in the protection of data or data privacy, and those departments are the one that creates policy related to that data privacy. And once we use the technology, we need to trust the providers that our data are secured, especially if we are using the paid technology, which means we have trust. We have trusted them. On the other hand, we should be very careful if we are using the free technology simply because it is free, and if it is free, we should we expect security. So, but again, overthinking about the data privacy will put us in four corners of a box where we won't be able to find new things and new opportunities, even if that is just in front of us or just around us and waiting for us. So, it's true that it's not so easy to move if there are laws involved with the security, even if the intention is good and for the development. And as far as I understand, if there are what we call data privacy, then there also exists freedom of information for the transparency of information. So I think if what we wanted is development or improvement, then transparency matters. So just like the concept of object-oriented terminology, rather. So encapsulation. So the term encapsulation means hiding away the inner workings of codes while presenting a well-defined interface. In other words, all data will be private, but there is a way where we can use and we can process data. But it needs to follow the policy incorporated with the data, which means direct manipulation of data won't be possible because there are different methods responsible for the purpose that needs to be followed. Where after following, then we can get what we want. So which means we need to follow the process. So we can directly manipulate the data. Okay? So to end this presentation, I'd like to again read my message. In a situation where people need to survive, overthinking about the security of data should not be the priority. Instead, thinking of positive ways on how we can survive with the help of the existing technology, which might be paid or free, should be our focus in the new normal in order to survive, in order to fight this pandemic. So, thank you very much and have a great day to all of us. This ends my presentation. Again, I'm Lorimer L. Imperio, a faculty, an assistant professor 1 at the Marinduque State College, main campus, soon to be university, located at the town of Uwak and the province where the heart of the Philippines is located, Marinduque. Good luck to all of us. Goodbye.